Money can be just an everyday chore. You know, it's really interesting that when you talk about saving money, it can be monotonous. Let's face it. Basically, it's you just don't spend money. And I've been trying to find places for inspiration, trying to find places of learning something new. It seems like everything under the sun has been written about frugal living and saving money. So I've gone to a source of the World War II kitchen. And World War II took people at a time in their life where they had to save like never before. The majority of these people probably were big savers to begin with, but they need to go into a deeper dive into saving money. And how better way for me to learn all of these things than to go back to the World War II kitchen. The front, the kitchen front. Yeah, the home front. And homemakers, how in the world did they even scrounge more savings? I have some strawberries in the freezer and some pineapple, and I wanted to get used up. Over the summertime, I had this stuff, and it was just so hot, I didn't feel like processing it. And so today, I'm going to make some jam and jelly, or jam. And I was really doing a lot of studying on, the kitchen of the women back in the day, in the 1940s. And how did they survive? So I was going through a lot of my cookbooks, and I was trying to find ways that I can make things without having to buy anything. And so today we're going to be making this. This most likely was made back in or around 1940. And using things that the women used back then makes it feel nostalgic. Makes it feel like you're really living back in those days. Sugar was a scarcity, and most likely they made their jellies and their jams without as much sugar. Or they used it with honey. Thankfully, we don't have in this day and age, we don't have ration cards. But if we have to watch our pennies, we have to be very careful on how much money we spend. Right now, for me, sugar is on sale, about half the price. Sugar will get very expensive in the summertime, so I always stock up now. Kitchen is always a mess. Always working on projects and starting things here and there. I think so many times that we can find inspiration in places that are a little unusual. And learning to do things the old-fashioned way really does save you lots of money. It's charming, the recipes in here, because it's things that we probably would never think of. Apple clove mint jelly. Wild crab apple jelly. Elderberry jelly. Gooseberry jam. Wild fox jam. May apple jam, which is leaves that are in the woods. They turned everything into something. Now that's a lot to live up to. Turning every little thing into something. I haven't mastered that yet. But with reading all of the stories of people who lived through the Great Depression, people who lived in World War II, and people who lived in all of these different eras of life, I'm realizing I got a lot to learn. and I have a lot to be thankful for. My mother used to always say to me, Tessie, don't complain of a messy kitchen. Be thankful you have one. That means you have something. That means you have things. It's a good way to think about it. I'm not sure when this masher was created, but I'm telling you, it's probably back in that day. Look at that. It's been used quite a bit, as you can tell. Food reduced ration points. The pantry full of jars meant fewer trips to the grocery store. Canning jars were reused year after year and rubber rings were saved. Lids were carefully removed, flattened, and reused if possible. Leftover paper, string, and scraps became jar labels and covers. This wasn't trendy cottagecore. This was a necessity, and it worked. They learned difference between water bath canning and pressure canning. Critical for safety, spoiled food meant wasted labor, wasted fuel, and lost money. The U.S. government heavily promoted safe canning through pamphlets, radio programs, posters, and local demonstrations. Not every family could afford a pressure canner, so community stepped in and they all shared one canner. Families traded canned peaches for eggs, green beans for sewing supplies, tomatoes with helps with repairs. Canning supported an informal barter economy system. They helped families meet needs without spending money. Posters praised women who canned an efficient, patriotic, and strong, feeding a family well. Unlimited resources with the skill seen but not given. Children helped with everything. They knew how to live without convenience. They knew how to stretch a dollar. And they knew food security starts at home. In times of uncertainty, whether economic, environmental, or personal, these skills matter today, just like they did back then. The World War II canning kitchen wasn't glamorous, but it was powerful. It fed families, saved money, and it proved that ordinary people doing ordinary things can rise to extraordinary challenges. If you enjoyed looking at this into history, let me know in the comments below, and I'll share how your family can practice frugality or food preservation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.